The air in Polis Outpost was a thick, permanent stew of scents, boiled mushrooms, damp concrete, unwashed humanity, and the underlying tang of ozone from the straining generator. Its low hum was the station's heartbeat, a sound so constant it was only noticed in its absence. Flickering fluorescent lights strung along the arched ceiling cast a sickly glow on the makeshift homes of scrap metal and faded tarps. Leo worked with a quiet, methodical precision, disassembling his pneumatic Tekhnik rifle. The glass pressure chamber glowed with a faint, promising light. Across from him, Kirill bounced a rusted steel bearing on the concrete floor, catching it with a clink. "Another day, another can of mystery meat," Kirill said, a grin playing on his lips. "Think it's rat or mushroom this time?" "If we're lucky, both," Leo replied without looking up. His voice was a low rumble, worn smooth by the tunnels. "Stop that. You'll wear out the bearing. We need it for the trade." Right. For the great and glorious supply run to Tekhnik Station." Kirill caught the bearing one last time and pocketed it. "I still say we should take the northern tunnel. It's faster." Leo finally lifted his gaze, his eyes serious in the gloom. "The northern tunnel is flooded halfway. And the things that live in the black water, you don't want to meet them. We take the eastern spur. Longer. Safer." Before Kirill could protest, the station elder approached, his shoulders perpetually stooped under the weight of command. "You have the list?" he asked, his voice gravelly. Leo nodded, tapping his chest pocket. "We have it. We'll be back before the night cycle. See that you are. Antibiotics are the priority. Old man Yui's infection is getting worse. After that, filters for the air scrubbers." The elder's eye shifted to Kirill. And Kirill listened to Leo. The tunnels do not forgive mistakes. Kirill gave a confident, slightly cocky smile. "Don't worry. We've got this." An hour later, the confident echo of Kirill's words had been swallowed by the oppressive silence of the eastern tunnel. Darkness pressed in from all sides, held back only by the narrow beams of their headlamps. Water dripped constantly, the sound magnified by the crushing quiet. Their footsteps were too loud, each one a betrayal. "Always gives me the creeps," Kirill whispered, his voice hushed by instinct. "Like the whole world is holding its breath." "It's better than the alternative," Leo whispered back, his Tekhnik held at the ready. "Silence means nothing's hunting us." They rounded a bend to find a partial collapse. A human skeleton, picked clean, lay sprawled near a rusted calash. A gas mask was tilted grotesquely on the skull. Leo threw up a closed fist, and they froze. He pointed his light upward. From a gaping ventilation shaft came a faint, skittering chitter. "Watchlings," Leo breathed, barely audible. "Nests in the ducts. Don't look directly at them with your light. Just move. Slow and steady." They crept past, hearts hammering, until the unsettling sound faded behind them. Kirill let out a long, shaky breath. The burst of noise and light at Tekhnik Station was always a shock to the system. It was a major hub, and the air buzzed with the crackle of electricity, the smell of hot solder, and the murmur of a crowded market. Stalls lit by bare bulbs offered everything from pre-war canned goods to freshly cast bullets. A one-eyed trader weighed their bearing on a small, brass scale. "Good steel," he grunted. "I'll give you 2 filters, the antibiotics, and, let's say 3 packs of pigweed crackers." 3 packs? Leo's voice was flat. That bearing will fit a working generator. Make it 5 packs and a half charge for my cell. He tapped the pressurized chamber on his T-car. The trader sighed, a theatrical sound. For packs and the charge. You drive a hard bargain, Stalker. We all have to eat. As the goods were gathered, Kirill's attention was captured by a stall selling pre-war junk. He picked up a small, mud-caked picture book. He wiped the cover with his thumb, revealing faded, impossible colors. "Look at this, Leo," he said, his voice full of wonder. "Trees that aren't twisted. Blue sky, real blue, not the greenish-gray we see. Did you ever think it was really like this?" Leo looked at the book, and for a fleeting moment, the hard lines of his face softened with a profound, deep sadness. It was a long time ago. Come on. We need to get back. The return trip began in the same tense silence. Then it was broken. A distant, screeching roar echoed through the tunnel, vibrating through the concrete under their feet. It was answered by another, closer this time. Leo froze, his face hardening into a mask of grim recognition. Nosalises. And it's between us and home. We can't go back? Wait it out. Kirill asked, his earlier bravado gone. We don't have the filters for a long wait. And the elder needs these medicines. Leo's jaw was set. We go forward. Quietly. They moved into a wide service cavern, a graveyard of old rail carts. The stench was overwhelming, musk, rot, and something metallic. Suddenly, a hulking shape erupted from behind a cart. It was a Nosalises, all distended snout, twitching nostrils, and powerful, clawed limbs. It charged directly at Kirill. Kirill yelled, fumbling desperately with his crossbow. Leo didn't hesitate. He shouldered his T-car, exhaled, and fired. PFFFT. The pneumatic rifle spat a hardened steel bearing. It hit the creature in the shoulder with a sickening thud of impact. The Nosalises screeched in pain and rage but didn't stop. Kirill! Now! The command cut through Kirill's panic. He raised the crossbow, aimed, and fired. Thwack! The bolt sank deep into the creature's eye. It stumbled, crashed into a metal cart with a deafening clang, and lay still. Silence rushed back in, filled only by their ragged gasps. Then, another screech echoed, far too close. There's more! To the side tunnel! Now! They ran, abandoning all stealth, scrambling into a narrow maintenance passage just as 2 more shadows poured into the cavern behind them. Leaning against the cold wall of the maintenance tunnel, they gulped air. The screeches had faded. They were safe. Kirill trembled, the adrenaline receding and leaving sheer exhaustion in its wake. I froze, he stammered, shamefaced. I'm sorry. Leo put a firm hand on his shoulder. You didn't freeze. You fired. That's what matters. He looked at the bag containing the precious medicine, then back at his young friend. The elder was wrong. The tunnels don't care about mistakes. They just are. It's us who have to be better. To watch each other's backs. That's how we survive. Not just by being careful. By being a team. Kirill met his gaze and nodded, his confidence returning, now tempered and hardened by experience. A team. Back in the common area of Polis Outpost, under the familiar flickering lights, they handed the antibiotics to the station elder. The relief on the old man's face was a tangible thing. You made it. And before night cycle. Good work. Both of you. As the elder hurried away, Kirill pulled the picture book from his pocket. He sat on the worn concrete floor, and almost immediately, a few of the station's children, their faces pale and eyes too wide, gathered around him. He opened the book carefully. And this, Kirill said, his voice soft, this is called the sun. It was warm, like a heater, but for the whole world. From across the room, Leo watched. He began the familiar, calming ritual of checking the pressure on his T-car. A faint, tired smile touched his lips. The job was done. The tunnel had been walked. Today, they had survived. Tomorrow, there would be another. But for now, in the dim light, with the sound of a story about a forgotten world weaving through the stagnant air, it was enough.